I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's vlog. So this week I was planning on taking you cross-country schooling with me to Lynham, but unfortunately I got struck down with a bout of food poisoning, which means I couldn't go. Less said about that the better. But instead I thought I would do the first of a series of vlogs I have planned to take you along with me and introduce you to all the different disciplines and things that I do and that we do here at the Knights of Middle England with our horses. So today I'm going to take you along with me and introduce you to riding side saddle. So first of all, I'm going to go and have a little sit down with Tanya, our side saddle instructor, and have a little chat with her about how it works, how to get started with it, and give you a bit of an introduction as to what side saddle is all about, and then take you along with me for a lesson. So Tanya, hello. Thank you for talking to us. So, side saddle.
Yes.
Here it is, a side saddle. And I think the first thing to talk about, well no, actually let's talk about you first of all.
Okay.
So obviously you teach side saddle here at the Knights of Middle England. So how did you get into side saddle?
I got into side saddle through a friend of mine who was out showing, doing side saddle, and just kept eyeing my horse up for the side saddle. So she kept saying, let's get a side saddle on him. Yeah. And so we did. Yeah. And she competed in for one season. Yeah. And then very kindly lent me a saddle, and I carried on from there, and I've been doing it ever since. Absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. And Creepy is gorgeous. And you do look amazing together with all the costume and dress on. Yeah. So yes, I can see why she thought he'd make a good side saddle horse, because he's gorgeous. Yeah. Excellent. So yes. So and the costumes and the dress of it all. Obviously, I'll put in some photos about of you and all your stuff. So you have the sort of standard habit that you wear, but then also you do concours as well, don't you?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
So concours d'elegance, it's about creating the overall picture of elegance. So yes, your horse needs to go beautifully, but you also need to have a beautiful outfit that complements yourself and your horse. So picking the right colours and the right styles for you is very important. Yeah. And I think the two costumes that I have seem to have done that for myself and Creepy. So and Marengo now.
Yes. So I'll put in here some photos from a recent shoot we did with Nick from Events Through a Lens, where you actually rode our gorgeous Marengo, who is a bit of a body double for Creepy, isn't he? They're both beautiful big greys. So as gorgeous as you look on Creepy, you look just as gorgeous on our Marengo.
Yeah, and he carried it off very well.
He did. Fantastic. So the saddle itself, I think probably the biggest misconception about side saddle is that you don't sit sideways on the horse. A lot of people think that, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of people are coming saying that, absolutely. Yeah. So you definitely got to sit as you would do in a normal saddle. So if someone was stood behind you, you were literally a normal rider with one leg.
Missing a leg.
So you should sit nice and square in the saddle. So, and that's one of the hard bits.
Keeping yourself straight and actually not wanting to turn around and sit sideways.
That's it.
Really working that right thigh, I guess, to keep yourself straight in the saddle.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the other thing that makes, well, there's a lot of things that make side saddles different from normal saddles. Obviously, they're a lot rarer. You can't just go to your average saddler and buy one, can you? Generally, they're quite old. They're antique saddles, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sort of early 1900s. Usually sort of average age.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And but another big difference is you don't keep your stirrup Your stirrup doesn't belong with your saddle, does it? Your stirrup belongs with you.
Yes, absolutely right. So every time you get off, you take the stirrup with you. Yeah.
And just explain why that is, because it's to do with, it's a safety thing.
Yeah,
it
is a safety thing. You wouldn't want to get it caught on anything, because you could potentially break your saddle, and so it just is mainly a safety thing. You will never see a lady walking along with their stirrup attached to them. They will have it in their hand.
You're holding it in our hand, exactly. So there you go. Keep holding your stirrups in your hand. Don't go around doing that with on your normal.
No, not at all. It would be very strange.
Definitely side saddle specific.
Yeah.
And so anyone who's interested in trying out side saddle, obviously come to the Knights of Middle England. We have the horses and the saddles. You don't need to have any of it.
That's it.
But if someone perhaps has their own horse and thinks, well, maybe I want to give side saddle a try with my horse, is there like a specific type? Like most horses can take to it, can't they, if they've got the right fitness and musculature?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, their back needs to be nice and strong, so you wouldn't want to do it with a young horse. You wouldn't want to do it with something that was very naughty, as in a rearer.
Yeah.
Bucker, it depends on the horse and why they are a bucker, but most of them take to it. But something with basic schooling makes it easier. Yeah. Because obviously it's not the easiest thing to do anyway.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, basic schooling is quite key. But yeah, most horses take to it, and it's kind of once the balance strap is done up that a lot of them think, oh, what's that?
Yeah, so the balance strap sits further back than a normal girth, doesn't it? So for a horse that isn't used to having something round there, it might take a little bit of getting used to. But yeah, we found most of our horses here that we've put them on and taken to it really well.
Absolutely.
So, excellent. And yes, obviously, so talking about basic schooling and things, obviously you want your horse to you want to be able to have a good relationship with your horse, because obviously your right leg isn't there on the right hand side of the horse to be used. So you do carry a stick instead, don't you?
Yes,
use
you
it
do.
Instead of the leg.
That's it. That becomes your right leg. Yeah. So it needs to make sure it comes and sits where your leg would be, rather than up and back on its flank. So
yes, because you wouldn't want your leg back there when you were riding, so you definitely don't want your stick back there.
No, definitely.
Excellent. So we know a little bit about our saddle and what we're going to be doing. Now I've had a couple of side saddle lessons over the years. I've done little bits for shows and filmings where I've needed to ride a side, but it's something that I haven't done loads of. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this beautiful saddle onto Chief.
Excellent.
And I'm going to go and have a lesson.
Fabulous.
Get going.
Yeah.
Right, get tacked up.
Cool.
So we've got two pommels on the saddle, here and here. Talk me through those quickly, Tanya, and a bit of extra padding as well.
Bit of extra padding, yeah. So this is your fixed head. So this is attached onto the tree of the saddle. This is where your right leg will wrap around. This is where the strength is. And this is the leaping head. So this is where your left thigh sits just under here, and it's just for you to put your knee up into.
Perfect. So actually once you're on, between the two pommels, you're really nice and secure.
Very much so, yeah.
Right, so I've got my hat on, I've got my right leg in the form of my stick. Stirrup is on the saddle. You see, it wasn't before, but now I'm ready to get on. It's gone on the saddle. So we're going to get going. Okay, so I'm on. But obviously you can see at the moment I've got one leg either side. 'Cause you always get on a stride first, don't you, Tanya? And it kind of, I've had a little walk about. It just helps get the horse moving. So with one leg either side, we check girths and things before we go sideways. And obviously it makes your hips are straight if you start off sitting this way.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Good, so we're going to check the girth.
Right.
get a hand in there. So that's what you want. So stirrup length is just about a hand underneath the pommel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And but the difference is we're not putting a lot of weight in the stirrup.
No, not at all.
Keep the you're carrying your weight in your body, not putting a lot through that stirrup.
So the centre of your thigh is where you would have your point of balance, rather than that's where you would be on a normal saddle. So that's a bit.
Everything's a bit more forward. So over. Right. Feels good. There we go. We are officially sideways. Which way do you want to go first? Right.
Right first.
Yeah.
So remember, for a left turn, just turn your head and open that rein. That's it. So with your left thigh and knee, get it really clamped onto your saddle. The lower is the normal side. Have that nice relaxed loose. This is locked on, and what it does is it helps you stay in a position, but it just turns your ankle slightly. So if you're in a class, you shouldn't be able to see the bottom of the knee.
There we go, side saddle lesson done. Chief was a little superstar, as you can see. Taking off a stirrup. Stirrup stays with you, not your saddle. You're a good boy, weren't you? So, there you go. Side saddle lesson complete. Had a really good session. Really enjoyed it. Side saddle is one of the disciplines, like I said earlier, that I haven't really done that much of. I've had to go a few times when I've needed to for filming work or for live shows, but I've had very few lessons and proper instruction, so it's really great having Tanya here to be able to have some more regular sessions and do a bit more of it. It was also the first time I'd ever done side saddle on Chief, so it was getting used to his movement. He's quite bouncy, and yeah, whilst sort of, as Tanya said, most horses you can ride side saddle and you can train them to it and get them fit enough. There's definitely a type that you want, and something that's nice and smooth and sort of something that's a bit wider set is generally the key. So obviously Chief is not the widest of our horses, he's a little bit narrower, and yeah, he is very bouncy, so the trot was interesting, but really good, and we had a nice little bit of cantering at the end there as well. The biggest thing is just remembering to ride the horse, especially when you're new to it. You're kind of so focused on this different position and new position, you forget that you have to still ride the horse just like you would when you're riding it astride. So remembering to ride and not be a passenger is definitely key. But yeah, it was really good fun, and have some plans in the works for the side saddle going forward, so looking forward to doing some more of it. So if you want to give side saddle a go, then come and get in touch with the Knights of Middle England. We've got the horses, we've got the saddles, we've got everything you need. Come and try side saddle for yourself, and hopefully we'll see you here soon. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you have any questions about side saddle, then please do ask them in the comments below, and I will answer as best I can. If I don't know the answer, then I'll ask Tanya and get her to answer them. And I will see you next time. Bye!
I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotions.